motorcycle update. Unalive is not a term I normally use, but I had to make sure that the new kids understand what's really going on and save their feelings. CryptoTalk.fm, my name is Leicester, I'm your host. A bit of a news update. This came from April, and unfortunately, the only service that has this coming by way of court reporting is locked behind a very expensive service that it's hard for me to justify. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 to $300 a month, and there's not enough frequency of updates to justify that amount of money. I would pay if I knew there was more frequent things happening. There's not. It seems like it's like every 3 months or something. So I can't justify $200-300. It's not even that I can't afford it. It's I can't justify it. That's too much fucking money for intermittent updates about a scammer. This is about Manny the rug puller, Manpreet Singh Kohli, formerly from SAITAMA, from SAITAMA, the one who spawned Rezer, which is crapped, obviously. And I saw some people on social media claiming there's a guy named Raul. I don't know anything about this, but they don't know what they're doing. They have no plan, And apparently there was some money that was rug pulled out of something. I don't know what it was, but this is what I was seeing on social media. Anyway, about Manny the rug puller. As of April 9th, so I'm a little bit tardy, but again, I can't justify the cost, and somebody broke this out, and this came from Court Reporter. That's why these are coming in this is the only conduit to get it, because the Court Reporters only put it in one place, and then others have to subscribe and pay hundreds of dollars to get access to critical information, which I think is a scam. Anyway, so he's in court, right? He's still fighting charges. They're trying to extradite his ass. The U.S. trying to extradite him to serve charges because, of course, cult leader Russ, he pled guilty. Max Hernandez, he pled guilty. Nam Trans on the Run, VFam, pled guilty. So they're trying to nail all these people. Manny the rug puller and Nam Tran are the only two left. Manny the rug puller, they caught him, but they can't. They're trying to extradite him out of the UK. That's what it is. So he's still out in the UK now. What he's claimed just recently is, well, no, I'm fighting extradition. Before I did an update where he said, look, you have no evidence that I ripped anybody off. I mean, what are you trying to prove? Now the claim is, well, if you extradite me, though, that violates my human rights because I would be at risk of suicide. Kind of on the vein of Jeffrey Epstein, right? He's saying, you got to understand, this is U.S., man. If I have to go out there, there's a high risk I'm going to commit suicide because that's just what it is out there. If I have to face these trials, I'm probably going to end up killing myself, So, because they're trying to get him, and he knows the United States don't play when money's involved. They don't play. They'll do everything they can to go after your ass, and they'll lock you up for decades over money charges. That's what it is. His dumbass, the mistake he made is not following after the cult leader by just simply admitting his guilt, taking a plea, because I believe Russ only got like 5 years. Well, Russ was supposed to be the COO. Rug puller took over as CEO of SAITAMA, but Russ was the face, and he got 5 years last I looked at it because he accepted his guilt. And the government's fine. They just want to send a message. They're just trying to put the fear and shit in you, and they want you to accept your guilt. Once you accept your guilt, they talk plea deals, especially if you dime somebody else out. We know Manny the rug puller's got to have all sorts of inside information about some of this stuff, and he could say, yeah, I know he can track down Nam Tran. I know exactly where he is. I know where he lives. I know where he runs. He could have easily made a deal. His dumb ass decided to fight, and the government's trying to slap his ass down and tell him something and show him who's boss around here. He keeps saying, listen, the stress, man, this is a stress. In the U.S., it's a stressful deal. They don't have a mental health treatment plan in the United States. They don't take care of people in the prisons in the United States. Now, where's that coming from? Apparently, his attorney tracked down some sort of studies by psychiatrists that said that Manny, in the United States, he would be at risk of self-harm in the United States because the United States has suck-ass prisons, which is true. It is true. Has suck-ass prisons. They don't take care of people. And allegedly, Manny, the rug puller, he is at risk because he suffers from severe depression. Okay, well, where'd that the fuck come from? When first we're hearing of it, he didn't call a specialist that I saw to attest to that in a court of law. I don't know that, but the United States is like, look, This dude made $20 million on this scheme. We need to hold him accountable. Coley's attorney says even if he were extradited, he has a very strong case because they would just fight it and say that the token did not meet the legal definition of a security. Well, here's the thing. If you're so confident it's not security and you're so confident that you can win the case, then why are you fighting extradition? Because they're just grasping at straws. They're doing everything they can to try to just get a judge to say, no, we're not going to give him to the U.S. What's my gut tell me? My gut tells me he's going to be extradited. That's my gut telling. Because look what happened. Poof Hair, they got his ass. Do Rug Pull, a.k.a. Do Kwon, they got his ass. I suspect that Manny the Rug Puller is going to be extradited. Do I think he commits suicide? No. Because he could still take a plea deal. Like even if he got pulled out and pulled to the U.S., he could still take a plea deal. It's just they're going to nail him to the wall because he fought for so damn long. He's just dumb. Like, why did you not just take a plea deal when you had the chance to get off light like Cult Leader? Cult Leader did way worse. Cult Leader is a coke addict anyway. So Manny the Rug Puller apparently is claiming he would unalive himself, as the kids like to say, if he were to go to the United States, because the United States has a suck-ass prison system and don't take care of their prisoners, and that's the reason that the UK should not extradite him for the charges that previously he denied, but now is not actively denying. But if he were to go back there, he would win the case because they're not a security anyway, yet he still doesn't want to go back there, even though he claims he has an open shut case. This is